denied by destiny, trapped in the shadows of the mate bond. Chapter 11. Hector's point of view. Have you heard of their alpha, then Sable? I finally ask the question I've been dying to ask all day. I watch her intently, not wanting to take my eyes off her as her body reacts. She was fighting her body's natural response, preventing it from going into panic mode under my watchful glare. A twitch at the corner of her mouth breaks through her skillful barrier. There is no mistaking the racing of her heart at the mention of his name. Even the way the blue ring that surrounds her pupil bleeds out, overpowering her green eye color. Her wolf was shining through. No, I can't say I have heard of him. Should I have done? She responds, her bottom lip now being bitten on by her teeth. She may have refused to tell me the truth, but her heart speaks the truth her lips refuse. Her pregnancy took me by surprise. It is unusual for a female to leave her pack when in the early weeks of pregnancy and put her trust into life as a rogue. Being a pregnant rogue is dangerous, and with the lack of access to medical facilities, can potentially be problematic, especially in labor. Therefore, most females would refrain from making such a bold, desperate move until at least the baby was born. But Kaia didn't just leave, she escaped. This is clear from the Amber Desert warriors that chased her throughout the night. She was determined not to be caught, and her forwardness in wanting to join my pack confirmed this for me. She was assisting my plan without even realizing. He must be losing his mind looking for her, which gives me great pleasure. He'll have checked the borders of every pack. In fact, I imagine I'm the only pack he hasn't demanded to enter to search for her. If those packs have any wits about them, and I know a lot of them well, he won't gain access. Which will hopefully bide me some more time, as he'll believe she is at one of those packs. I mean, why would she be here? I hadn't factored in that she may have been with child, but nevertheless, this was working out perfectly. But I would need to change some small details. If what I believed to be true, then this she-wolf was carrying the future of the Amber Desert pack. She was eating my food, a guest in my alpha house, and now my pack member. You couldn't wish for such a thing. What a bloody fool he is to sleep with her, and then to let her escape through his fingers. Yet she doesn't hold his mark on her neck. He hasn't claimed her. Which means he was keeping her at arm's length. Using her and keeping her locked away in his pack, waiting for an opportune time. What was he planning? Had something happened to Alora? Was she still alive? I've prayed for this day, to finally pain him as he once pained me. And now I have one of his pack members and potentially his female under my roof, within the boundaries of my pack. Now under my control, her allegiance now sworn to me. There's some kind of poetry in that, I think. My wolf growls at me for unleashing my aura upon her. I get it. She was a lone, pregnant female, and that resonates with my wolf. But he has to keep his mind in the game, keep his thoughts to himself. I couldn't deny she was just as beautiful, if not more. Her long, wavy hair cascading past her shoulders, her lips having an orange tone hidden in their redness. Well, you shall get a chance to meet him. I respond, playing along with her game of denial. She worked hard at concealing her reaction at the mentioning of Than's name, but she isn't as quick as me. Her quickening heartbeat at the mention of him was soon suppressed, but not soon enough. I was the alpha here. Not one of my pack members can hide information from me, and especially not a newly joined pack member. I will? Yes. Every year we hold a banquet to maintain pack relations. Amber Desert is the enemy pack. But times are changing, and this year feels like a good opportunity to send an olive branch to the Amber Desert pack. So, as long as they accept my offer, Alpha then will be in attendance, and I have a feeling he won't refuse my invite. Chapter 12. Than's point of view. Still no sign of her alpha. Have you checked the nearby packs? I roar at my beta, who yet again comes back empty-handed. She has to be somewhere. No shit. I growl at him. He let her fucking go. I have been furious at him and my wolf furious at me. He blames me just as I blame Zane for her getting away. Where the fuck is she? I slam my fists onto my desk before pushing the entire item of furniture over. My wolf constantly wanting to ruin things and training had already gone up a gear. My anger needing an outlet. It now took 5 of my warriors at once to defeat me. We've searched everywhere. Every cave, every woodlands, even the human shelters where werewolf rogues are known to stay. But we kept coming up empty. The alphas? A growl emits from my chest as I press Zane for another update. We've been pushing on different packs' borders, trying to gain access. My warriors are out constantly trying to track her. A pack must have taken her in. It's the only way she's been able to hide from us. I need to search every building, every pack. But most won't let me enter, not without telling them who I am looking for. And I won't be sharing that kind of information anytime soon. I can't give any of the conniving pricks an opportunity to hold something over me. Nothing alpha, they say. Without more information, they won't let our men in. You better find her, Zane, because right now, I'm ready to murder, and you're in the firing line as the one that fucking let her go. I spit out at my beta, my aura becoming thick and heavy, and directed right at him, Alpha. His neck submits immediately before I dismiss him. This was a right shit show. Kaia has been here safe under lock and key for 2 years. She's had no idea of Alora's existence and their similarities. Yet the moment Alora starts to wake up, Kaia finds out and runs. It's like a sinister twist of fate. Alora is awake and slowly walking, however. She is still very weak. I insisted that she was discharged to the Alpha House, under my watchful gaze. I have some time before she needs the operation. If I can find Kaia and bring her back, when Alora is ready, we can proceed. As it stands, without Kaia, Alora has a few years at best, and only thanks to her werewolf healing abilities. But with the new kidneys, she would have decades, and I need a lifetime with her. I haven't come this far with her to lose her now. Damn Kaia for running. She's completely ruined the joy of Alora gaining consciousness again. The pack should be rejoicing that their Luna has returned to us, but instead they are nervous for the future of the pack, and in truth, so am I. To have Alora back in my bed, her scent perfuming our bedding, her face laying next to me once more was something I prayed for. But as time went on, I had almost lost hope. My female beta Freya has been instructed to aid her, to help her rebuild her strength as she walks around the house, to cook her whatever meal she wants, to treat her as the Luna she is. She's been through so much already that I made the doctors hold the truth back from her, the true extent of the damage the wolfsbane caused. She didn't need that on her mind right now, she just needed to get stronger. When the time comes, I will tell her, but not just yet. She isn't ready. I continue searching through maps, finding new areas or remote buildings for my trackers to search. We've already searched this one Alpha. One of my senior trackers responds through text message. Well, search again. She could be moving daily. People don't just disappear. I text back. I won't accept them coming back empty-handed. She has to be somewhere. She can't outrun and hide from Amber Desert Pack warriors and trackers. Then, her voice pulls me out of the pack link as she enters my office, her hand resting on the doorknob for support. She shouldn't be walking around alone. Where is Freya? I demand as I walk over to her and place my arm around her waist. She needed a break. She is the beta female. She has other things to get on with. Like fuck she does. I told her to be with you at all times. Nothing else matters. What's all this? She asks, looking at all my maps as we walk towards my desk. Nothing. I make sure she is steady before hastily putting the maps away in my locked drawer. Alora had no reason to know of Kaia's existence. To Alora, She can be a faceless donor. Chapter 13. Van's point of view. 2 weeks have passed and nothing. It's as if Kaia has just vanished into thin air. Alora's strength was still slowly regaining and I was running out of time. My pack doctors are pressing me to make a decision, telling me that my love needs to know. But how can I tell her? I can't. The doctors also need to remember who the alpha is here. They follow my orders, not the other way around. My trackers were running out of places to look, and the damn pack mind link was too far away. I was getting frustrated with the delayed communication and updates via calls and text messages. The only option is for me to leave Alora and join my trackers out in the field. Mother and Freya can keep a watchful eye on her. Mother has already said she would happily move back into the Alpha House to assist. Zane can head up training in my absence and notify me of any issues with pack management that he can't handle as the beta. Once my wolf is in his form, we should find Kaia quickly. Alpha wolf senses are stronger than any other wolf, and I may be able to pick up on clues of her location. It was settled. That's what I will do. I just need to have a good cover story for when Alora asks where I'm going. She'll wonder why I am leaving her now when she still isn't at her full strength. The other packs were holding out on me. They were refusing access. Bastards. I'll remember this for when they need help. I'll happily deny them my men and assistants, as they are denying me now. Untrusting, all of them. A knock on my office door disturbs me from my thoughts of revenge on those that are wronging me. Enter. Alpha, today's mail has arrived. Freya walks towards my desk, handing me the pile of letters in her hand. Freya, I need to go off Packland for a few days. You will be assigned to be here for Luna Alora as she continues to recover. Mother should be arriving today or tomorrow to also assist. That's all. I dismiss Freya, keen to get prepping. Freya heads to the door but lingers, looking awkward, as if she wants to say something. Yes. Are you looking for Kaia? She quietly asks, her head whipping outside the door to check the corridor is clear. That's none of your concern, and I've made it very clear that mentioning that name in front of Alora is forbidden. Oh no, Alpha. I wouldn't. Good. Why do you ask? I just want to make sure she is okay. She left without saying goodbye. Since when did Kaia make a lasting impression on my pack members? I kept her isolated for a reason. But then again, Freya did see her more than most. She left and took something with her, something I need. Something I need to retrieve. I can feel my own aura filling the room, a dark mood taking over me. The anger of my wolf coming forward at me for letting Kaia escape. Then I hope you find her, Alpha. Freya makes no mistake in remaining in my office for longer than necessary. The atmospheric pressure of my aura remains in the room as I start opening the letters. Most of them boring invoices. Even though we try to be as self-sufficient with running of the pack as possible, there are still things necessary that have to be outsourced. I open each and every envelope, all the same white standard design except for the last one. This one is different. It's ivory in color, and made out of a heavier card material. It has a hologram sticker on the bottom right corner that when flickered under the light shows a leaping wolf behind a tree. There's no mistaking its origin. It's from the werewolf community. I open the envelope with care, uncertain of its contents. To find an invitation to this year's banquet hosted for the alphas and lunas of the local wolf packs. An event I have never been invited to. I have to read the invitation a number of times to believe what I am reading. It clearly states that this year's banquet is to be hosted by the Dark Phantom Pack. Impossible. If the Black Phantom Pack is hosting, why would I be invited? Why would he invite me? I can't believe it and spend a good length of time staring at the invitation, inspecting it again and again. Perhaps this was the lifeline I needed, the lifeline Alora needed. If I can gain entry to the banquet and speak with the other alphas, plead my case. they'll let me into their packs. She has to be hiding somewhere. Hiding in a barn or some other kind of abandoned building. One of them must have felt a rogue enter their pack grounds. Someone must now. I'll just have to do my best to not converse with him, to not see him. Chapter 14. Kaia's point of view. Time has passed considerably quickly at the Dark Phantom Pack. I have been here for 2 weeks now, and am starting to get to know the pack members slightly. I must admit, I have gone out of my way to introduce myself to them in the hopes they will ask me what brings me to their pack. Which is the perfect opening for me to discreetly ask about Father. But nothing yet. Perhaps he didn't come here after all. Or if he did, then Alpha Hector turned him away immediately. I am still a guest at the Alpha House. I thought I would have been allocated a room at the pack house by now. But I think with the organizing of the banquet, it has escaped the Alpha's and Beta's mind to move me. The pack was friendlier than I had expected. I'm not entirely sure where the bad reputation of this pack has come from. It was unjustified in my opinion. Even Alpha Hector's frosty exterior was starting to thaw the longer I remain. But I still couldn't get my head around how he couldn't seem to recognize the bond between us. It's as if he was immune to it. He doesn't even bat an eyelid as I enter a room, or when I purposely get too close to him. A sly touch here or there. His face registers no reaction to the tingles that must be erupting on his arms. Nothing. Maybe it's my punishment in life to never feel a full mate bond. It doesn't matter anyhow. I have my baby to protect, to grow, to love. My true second chance in life, and he or she will love me unconditionally. And I them. Although Alpha Hector fascinates me. From the moment he returns from training in the morning and insists on joining me for breakfast, to hardly leaving his office all day, but making sure he dines with me in the evening. I often find myself looking too long into his gray-ash eyes, or reading his lips long past him, finishing his sentence. The mate bond trying to work its magic on me again. Today was my second checkup with the doctor, and as I exit the hospital, heading back towards the Alpha House, I find the pack buzzing with excitement. Pack members putting up lights, decorations, and signs in preparation for the big pack banquet tomorrow. Continuing on my return journey, I reach the pack hall next to the Alpha House, where the main celebrations will be held tomorrow. On my journey, I am nodded at, waved at, and even smiled at. It has become a refreshing comparison to walking around the Amber Desert Pack. I am starting to feel slightly settled here, but I knew I needed to move on soon enough. I couldn't be too settled. Kaia, when are you joining us for a pack run? One of the young, unmated males beckons me over to the pack house. Like most, I do not know his names yet, but I am trying to remember. I join him, along with a few males and females that are only a few years younger than me. All of them vibrant for what life brings. They were still hopeful of the moon goddess's matchmaking skills for them. I envied their innocent enthusiasm. I'm not sure yet. I tried to dance around the subject. I was still too conscious to share the news of my pregnancy. Also, I was concerned how me being a newly joined member and pregnant might look across the pack. That I was running from something or someone. And I couldn't have inquisitive minds raising concerns to their alpha. Not yet. You'll dance with us tomorrow, right? It's tradition for males to dance with all females. Says who? One of the females crosses her arms, staring at the male, calling him out publicly. A laugh escapes me, but is cut short when the female's crossed arms are used to nudge the cheeky male wolf, informing him that their alpha was watching them. They soon scurry away, heads down, leaving me to walk alone towards the dangerous-looking alpha male. He was like an enigma to read. Your dress has arrived. He opens the front door to the alpha home for me, letting me step in first. Past him, again. No signal that my scent has affected him. My dress? For the banquet. Oh, I'm not sure if it's a good idea for me to go. I'm sure Alpha Hector will see it as rude and me being ungrateful for his generosity. But I can't go. I can't see then. If he even attends. Nonsense. Why ever not? You'll be my +1. I'll be next to you all night. His eyes take on a playful look, an expression that instantly melts his icy exterior. I like witnessing these fleeting moments before the wall goes back up. Perhaps if I was stuck to Hector's side all night, then wouldn't have the courage to approach me. Again, that's even if he decides to accept the invitation, which I highly doubt. You'll be by my side all night? I make that vow to you. I won't let you out of my sights. Chapter 15. Kaia's point of view. It is the day of the banquet, and to say I got any sleep last night would be wholly untrue. The pack looks incredible, though. The dark phantom pack sure know how to dress for an occasion. Row upon row of outdoor lights hang everywhere. There were even fire pits that had been installed to light up the main road that leads from the gate entrance to the pack hall. Entertainers had been arranged to perform in the hall and also by the main road to help set the tone of woodland creatures. It will be spectacular. So why am I feeling apprehensive? He might not even come. Why would he? He hates the dark phantom pack. Why would he accept on Olive Branch now? I want to hide away in my guest room, but I can't. I am a guest of the Alpha household and Alpha Hector's +1 for the evening. To not make an attendance would be the height of rudeness to the Alpha and his pack members. I was in too deep now, even helping prepare the canapes. I could see Aubrey was becoming too overwhelmed with the catering. I had to help her. We had a good production line set up, Aubrey making the canapes, me plating and wrapping to keep the freshness. Aubrey was an easy person to be around, the type of female that you could spend hours with and not make any sound. Just comfortable in her presence. Do you need help getting ready this evening? She asks me as she continues to make many more canapes. Her back is currently turned to me, which aids me in her not being able to read my facial expressions. No, I should be okay. I didn't plan on making a fuss regarding my hair and makeup. I was hoping to blend into the crowd and not be memorable, for obvious reasons. The Alpha has asked for me to assist, so I'll be up shortly. Go take a bath and I'll pop up soon. She ushers me out of the kitchen, practically pushing me up the grand staircase that is also adorned with fairy lights. Hours later and I hardly recognize myself. Aubrey has dressed me in a navy corset full ball gown, which has a layer of sparkly netting material. A slight, sheer corseted body around the stomach, and textured flowers on the bust, as a contrast. It was far too extravagant for me, and had I have been a few weeks more into my pregnancy, the corset wouldn't have fit. But luckily I can get away with it for this evening. She finishes my hair down with loose curls and my makeup with silver glitter around my eyes and cheekbones. She claims I am a woodland deer. I didn't protest. I just want this evening done with already. Hopefully, as soon as I starts, I can break away without being missed. I head down the grand staircase to find Alpha Hector waiting for me at the bottom. His eyes trail up my dress, only providing a simple nod, and I find myself disappointed that he hasn't at least commented on Aubrey's hard work, because she really has done a good job, even though it is wasted on me. I have to bite on my own tongue to not comment on how seductively sexy he looks. How my wolf is whining in my head for someone so perfectly made for me. His burnt orange and dark chocolate scent swirls around me, testing my strength. Clearly, I am always to look, but never be able to touch. Life can be cruel sometimes. Will this do? I pat down my dress, now regretting being encouraged to dress in something so extravagant. He was dressed in a 3-piece silver gray suit with a dark navy tie. We complemented each other well. Indeed, he responds with a deep intake of air, offering his elbow out to me. Feeling deflated, I take his arm and head out the door with him. I must have it wrong. Maybe the pregnancy hormones are creating something that is non-existent. Or maybe he just doesn't know what to expect. I'm not going to get any jealous glares tonight, am I, Alpha? What do you mean? From your mate? Surely a female from another pack is your mate? Will she be attending tonight? I subtly test his wolf. The moon goddess is always the one for surprise. What did that mean? Always an enigma. The ball starts of well. I am introduced to a number of alphas and lunas. Surprisingly, I am doing better with remembering names this evening. General conversation flows easily and thankfully, because I am now a dark phantom pack member. They just assume I have always lived here. The first time Alpha Hector leaves my side is to talk to an alpha privately. I'm quite happy. I am tucked away near the back, eating some of the canap Aubrey and myself made earlier. I watch couples dance, children running around and hiding under tables. The band playing upbeat music. I even smile back at Alpha Hector, the couple of times his eyes look for me amongst the crowd. He was deep in conversation with another alpha, but couldn't seem to help checking on me. Continuing to watch the evening's entertainment unfold before me. My back straightens and my wolf becomes alert before I have a chance to realize why. That's when I feel intense eyes on me. I can't see him, even though my eyes are scanning the crowd for him. He's here. That roasted chestnut scent remains ever merciless in the way it still tries to entice me in. I can feel my heartbeat in my ears, momentarily deafening me. I hate the way I react to him, to the bond. I am frozen, only just holding on to my drink. It takes all my strength to prevent the glass flute dropping from my fingers and smashing onto the ground. He's closing in on me. I can still feel his eyes on me like a predator. I close my eyes in an attempt to regather my control on my breathing and heartbeat. I feel a presence in front of me now, his command already trying to force itself onto me. My eyes flash open. Found you! Chapter 16. Hector's point of view. I knew he was here. My guards at the gate informed me the second he arrived. I had instructed them to do so. A small collection of guards were also ordered to escort him onto the main packlands, to not give him a window of opportunity to snoop. I know I had planned this, that I wanted this, but now that it is about to happen, I'm not sure how I feel. She looks sensational. The dress seems to have been made for her. She looked like a Greek goddess with her olive skin tone slightly enhanced from enjoying walks around the pack grounds in the afternoon sun. Her long brown hair cascades down past her shoulders, and I had to stop myself from brushing it away from her neck when she walked to the bottom of the stairs. My throat had become dry and smart words failed me at that moment. An added sparkle of glitter framed her face with a cuteness that still made her look desirable. She was a vision. She mingles well. She was confident and possessed an ease in starting conversation with strangers, even those of high ranks within shifter society. She had all the alphas and lunas eating out of her hand this evening, some of them even offering her a place to stay if she ever fancied a change in scenery. I was careful not to let her talk to the unmated alphas for too long. She was pregnant after all. Yes, that was the reason. She's new? Jude, one of the alphas from a neighboring pack, follows my gaze to Kaia. Jude was a close friend of mine. We had an unspoken agreement to defend one another's packs should an attack occur. Allies like him you can't buy. Yes, a transfer? But not a lot got past him. He knew most of my pack members, and I his. He would have noticed Kaia before. No, I found her. I keep my answer brief, not giving too much away. Well, she's a lucky find. Jude's eyes linger on her longer than I appreciate, and oddly, my wolf gives off a growl in my head. The hall door opens and I can sense him enter the banquet, and judging by her reaction, so can she. My eyes hardly left her this evening, but I was now tracking her every move. The rise and fall of her chest, The way she shuts her eyes, the way her fingers grip tightly around her champagne flute. He's before her in seconds, his height overshadowing her shorter frame. Alpha Jude continues to talk to me, but I don't hear a word he says. All I can concentrate on is what is happening by the bar. I'm trying to listen in, but with the music and loud party sounds, I'm struggling to get every word. All I know is she is shaking her head, taking a step back from him. He touches her, his hand grips onto her upper arm, and something inside of me is uncomfortable with the way he touches her. She shoves his hand off her, a growl emitting from her, which silences a few guests in their close proximity. A scene unfolding before them. Hector? Excuse me, I say to Alpha Jude, who was trying to regain my attention. But I was already walking towards the bar. Her eyes flash to mine as she notices my incoming presence, her heartbeat rising even more. She wasn't relieved by my presence. She should be worried. Her truth is about to come out. There you are. Everything okay? I call out to Kaia, not missing the tensing of his back as I join them. Yeah, well, I feel the same about his voice and face. She just nods, her eyes flickering between mine and Than's. Kaia, this is then Sable, Alpha of the Amber Desert Pack. Introduce her to him, because why would they know each other? I only know what she's told me, right? His eyes burn into mine, and I'm enjoying every bloody moment of it dawning on him that she's been hidden in my pack for the past 2 weeks. Not only nicely hidden, but now a pack member. Her allegiance now sworn to me. Oh, this is good. This is revenge at its best, at its finest. His eyes hold a threatening glare to them. The thick fuck. Does he really think he'll be able to attack me here? Win against me? He scoffs in my face as he takes a step closer to me. A lot more eyes on us now. Ezra's voice trying to push on the pack link into my mind. We actually know each other, Kaia softly states, trying to diffuse the tension between the three of us. He takes the champagne flute from out of her hold and puts the glass to his lips. With a smirk forming in his lips, he then downs the remainder of her drink. Really, how is that possible? My question is for Kaia, but my eyes haven't left his once. Time for him to squirm. Time for me to wipe that smirk off his face. Chapter 17. Kaia's point of view. She must have popcorn. The moon goddess, that is. Watching down from her comfort, enjoying the show. It's the only way this weird, twisted situation could be happening. Within seconds of finding me, then is already trying to talk me into retuning home with him. To trade in my new life and go back to what we had. What we had. Me, isolated in a pack for years. The Dark Phantom Pack has shown me more kindness in 2 weeks than the Amber Desert Pack has ever done. Kaia, I'm ordering you to come home. His jaw stiffens, his lips making an unpleasant expression as if I were paining him in some way. Maybe I was, but my life isn't for sale. His hand grips my upper arm, his patience wearing thin with me. I can feel the tingles from his hold, the mate bond still trying to resolve our tethered match. But too much has passed between us. I can never return. Even in the space of 2 weeks, I now know how much he has lied to me. How he only kept me for her. Kept a fraction of our mate bond alive to serve his own needs. Kaia, come home. He adopts a softer tone, trying to call out to my wolf soothingly, but I can see through his trickery now. No, then, I think you should leave. You shouldn't have come. My mind is made up, I won't ever come back. I push his hand off me with a growl and take a step back away from him. My wolf angry at him for touching us unsolicited, but didn't we belong to him? Wasn't our bond stronger than the new one I've been experiencing here? Now I'm not so sure. My head is becoming fuzzy and the loud music isn't helping me to think. This is difficult for me. He is my mate, and his denial of our bond has slowly drained me. Chipped away at my inner courage. I've become a shadow of my father's daughter. But I have to stay strong, strong for the baby and myself. This was my child, not theirs. I can't let him know I am pregnant, not yet. He comes over either at the worst timing or best timing, I'm not entirely sure. Alpha Hector even introduces me to Than, as if I've never met him before. How do I say this is the father of my child and the person I ran away from? How do I say that he actually gave a new home to someone from the enemy pack? I can't. He'll turn me out for sure. He has no loyalty to me, and he won't want to start a war with the Alpha of the Amber Desert pack. Any excuse for the two opposing sides to fight, and here I am, Than's mate, tucked away in the enemy pack, eating their food, my clothes bought with his money. I wasn't ready to be a rogue again, but I won't be returning. An odd, oppressive sensation fills the atmosphere around them, both alpha auras fighting for dominance. Both males have their shoulders stretched out and puffed, whether they know it or not. There is no mistaking their hostility. Eyes are starting to turn, conversations are starting to stop mid-sentence. We actually know each other. I try to cut the tension by responding to Alpha Hector. I'm very aware of eyes lingering on me as well. Hector was now at the receiving end of Than's fury for having offered me refuge blindly into his pack. I've seen that look in his eyes plenty of times before, especially the months after we were married and he all but rejected me. I couldn't understand it back then, but knowing what I know now, he would never have accepted me. His beloved had him completely. Then continues his fight for dominant male by grabbing my drink and downing it in one shot. Really, how is that possible? Alpha Hector asks me, yet his eyes remain trained on Than. He's not showing 1 ounce of fear towards Than, not giving any emotions always. I start to respond, but then cuts me off, thrusting the empty glass back in my hand. Kaia is coming home with me, then dictates to Alpha Hector in his own pack hall. Alpha Hector remains cool and calm, not once letting any sign of anger escape him. Kaia, will you be leaving us this evening? He directs his question verbally to me with his lips, but follows it up in my mind. You are a pack member now. You don't have to go anywhere with him if you don't want to. I don't want to, I respond through the mind link to my new alpha. Then it's settled. I hear his voice trail off in my mind. This is a secure pack alpha, then. I don't approve of my pack members leaving due to safety concerns. I'm sure you can understand that. Chapter 18. Kaia's point of view. She belongs to me, to my pack. Then declares to Alpha Hector. Is that so? Alpha Hector remains calm in front of a fiery force, almost finding then amusing. With a scoff, then leans forward, his lips just by Alpha Hector's ear. You're loving this, aren't you? Just remember she is my wife by werewolf law. She'll have to return to me. He seethes through his teeth, trying to whisper, but I still catch it nonetheless. My new alpha doesn't respond. He doesn't rise to Than's challenge. I may be his wife, but I'm not his property. Then slowly nods, finally understanding that I won't be coming back. His entire body turns as he starts to walk towards the exit. All eyes now on him, not that he notices. Tha has always been self-involved. Beta Ezra and a few warriors walk over, preparing to escort Than out of the building and off the pack grounds. He suddenly stops in the middle of the room, his hands clenching by his side. She's awake, he mutters, his words traveling across the length of the ballroom to me. It's only just audible to my ears, but my chest hears it loud and clear. He was out of time and had come to collect me, collect my organs, collect his so-called property. As soon as Than left the door of the hall, I also left the banquet. I couldn't remain in a party mood with a beautiful gown on, when all I wanted to do was rip the dress off and smear my makeup off. He knows I am here now. How long until he attacks the border? How long before I am ousted for being a threat to the pack? I ate breakfast alone the next morning. Alpha Hector didn't return from training until mid-morning. And even then he spent all day in his office. He was pissed at me for not telling him the truth, that I was from the enemy pack. I need to cut my time short here. I need to push forward with finding links to Father's location and get moving. I decide to try my luck with Aubrey again. Knowing me better now, she might be more willing to relinquish information on previous alphas that had visited. If Father hadn't been here, I need to think about moving on, especially now that the knows of my location. Next time I see him, I might have a bump. I was running out of time. Good timing. I am just preparing dinner. Aubrey smiles at me as she pokes her head out from the large double-doored fridge. Will you be eating in the dining room? I doubt it. What do you mean? She looks at me with a frown. I ate breakfast alone, and the alpha has been avoiding me all day. I felt uncomfortable in this alpha house all of a sudden, and I think she picks up on it. He's not ignoring you. He's had to put the pack on high security alert. Why? Me, because of me. Apparently wolves have been circulating around the border throughout the night, just watching but making their presence known. Van's warriors. Oh, I gasp, the sound lodging in the back of my throat. It was already happening. I think he'll be busy into the late evening, which basically meant he wouldn't be having dinner with me either. I was used to this, used to eating alone. Aubrey remains until I finish my dinner. She chatted to me the entire time, telling me stories of how she and her mate transferred here with their children from another pack. Once they arrived, she was offered a role in the Alpha House, and her mate bricklaying new builds, which has now turned to regular pack property maintenance. I broach the topic of alphas arriving here, but again she doesn't give much away, sweetly implying that I am one of the first guests to actually enter the kitchen and converse with her. I understand what she means. That's why I always took time to talk to Freya when I could. Alphas could be rude, ungrateful beings, and sometimes the betas were just as bad. I insist on washing up so that she can get home to her family. She places Hector's meal in the oven to keep warm, leaving me with only my plate and a few pans to clean. I sense him enter. The hairs on the back of my neck stand up. Not to mention his burnt oranges and dark chocolate scent swirling around near the heated oven, creating an enhanced version to his already delicious scent. I have to hold my composure, trying not to give away what his scent and presence does to me. Where's Aubrey? His low, husky voice asks as he walks to the oven, retrieving his meal. I said she could leave early and I'd wash up. You did you? Dismissing staff is the role of the Alpha or Luna. Shit. I didn't think. I stop and turn to him, soapy water now dropping on the kitchen floor as I hold a wet plate in my hand. I've just gone way above a guest's position. He was right. I had no right to do such a thing. I just thought she would like to leave early. Kaia, relax. I'm teasing. Have you eaten? Oh, haha, good one. Relief floods through me as I turn back to the sink. Hurry to finish the last pots. Yes, I've had dinner. Well, Alpha Hector, good night. I'll leave you to it. I leave the soapy water for him to clean his plate, but dry my hands with a kitchen towel. I imagine after the day he has had, he'll want to eat in peace. I place the folded kitchen towel on the island top and go to leave, stopping when he speaks. I've had amber desert warriors pushing against my borders all day. He means what he says. Who? Alpha, then. That you are his. I'm not his. No, but the baby is his, isn't it? Chapter 19. Alora's point of view. I'm walking more and more unaided. My strength is coming back to me bit by bit. I've still not got much of an appetite, my stomach having shrunk from not eating for so long. I was eating pathetic portions every 2 hours to rebuild my stomach. But even then, it was proving challenging. It hurt to use muscles I hadn't used for years. According to the doctors, this was the best plan of action, as was my physio and speech therapy. Coming back from the brink of death has its prices, and I was paying them. Then was there when I opened my eyes, his hands clutching onto my cheeks as his lips caressed my skin, leaving tingles all over my face. His scent enveloping around me instantly, comforting me when I was confused and weak. He refused to leave me that night, climbing into my hospital bed and holding me as I slept, refusing to leave the next day even when the doctors ordered it, informing them that he was alpha and they were meant to follow his orders. He flew off the handle a little, but he could be excused. His emotions were all over the place, just as were mine. But he hadn't calmed, and things were different. Then seemed different, on edge. I never expected to feel the pull of the mate bond with him after what I did. But then again, I never expected to wake up. I was in the alpha home now, the female beta Freya attending to my every need. Then was alpha now. I've missed so much. I missed his alpha ceremony. His father and mother had retired and moved out of pack grounds. He did it all alone without me by his side. That is something I can't make up for. Van's mother is meant to be here today, but she is delayed. She made sure to give a passing dig on the phone to me, though. Something had come up. Something that she had to sort out as the occasional acting Luna. Then was currently away on business, something important that couldn't wait. He hadn't even let me leave the house yet since being discharged from the hospital. I was desperate to see pack members, hear of their needs, see how I can help them. But how can I heal my position amongst the pack if I can't see them? I was slowly walking down the stairs, heading towards Than's office. I wanted to start catching up on pack affairs. Anything to keep boredom at bay during his absence. Even just reading up on pack births since. What happened? I walk into Thane's office to find even technology has advanced in my absence from the walking living. I just glare at the computer before me, not even knowing where the on button is. I move on to look through Thane's filing cabinet to find records of new births that, judging by their birth dates, were no longer newborns. They will now be walking around the pack and even attending preschool. I've missed so much. Flashbacks have been returning. The mental scar I'll carry for a lifetime. The pain of each mouthful, each forced swallow. My own wolf screaming at me to stop. She was too young. She didn't have the strength to overpower me back then. I could feel her strength also regaining, and I've been praying to the moon goddess that she will show me mercy when the time comes. That my wolf will forgive me for stealing her growing years. Pulling the baby records from out of the cabinet, I sit down to finish reading the folder in comfort. Inquisitive, I pull open the top desk drawer to find the usual desk necessities. A calculator. I try not to think back. But the scissors, pens. A photo frame. A photo frame of then and me. I pull it out to glance upon our younger years together, only to find that I'm not much younger at all. And I'm wearing white. My skin is glowing as if I've been in the sunshine all year long. My hair longer than I remember. I don't remember this, but then there's a lot of memories that still need to come back to me. I have been asleep for some time. Moving along, I lovingly place the picture of then, and I upright the picture of then, and I upright on pride of place on his desk. It must have been hard for him to see pictures of me. Hence why he couldn't bear to put it on display. He doesn't look as happy as he used to in the photo. He has almost a forced smile upon his face. Wait. Looking at his outfit, it finally clicks. He was wearing a smart suit. How could I not see the bouquet in my hand and the fact that not only was I wearing white, I was in a wedding dress? Surely I would at least remember our wedding day. Chapter 20. Than's point of view. Of all the places she had to wind up there, with him. I was escorted of the dark phantom pack grounds, but believe me, I didn't want to stay a moment longer there than I had to. I just wished I had been able to drag her back with me, but he already had his sharp claws into her. As soon as I was close enough to my pack borders, I used the mind link to order warriors to secure the borders of the Dark Phantom pack. Not to step over the border, but to make it clear I was watching him. I was ready for a battle. That no movement would happen without me knowing. That he wouldn't take her out and hide her away elsewhere. If he tried, I'd order my warriors to attack. He can't know of her importance to me, to Allura. Otherwise, he'll use that against me. What's going on? Zane is waiting for me outside the Alpha house as soon as I pull up in my car. It was past midnight now, and the moon was providing a soft glow behind a cluster of dark clouds. Zane was asleep when I gave my orders through the pack link, my Alpha command waking him up. He's most likely been waiting for me to return, having gathered the warriors and sent them out. I didn't give my reasons, just that I needed eyes on the Dark Phantom pack, until further notice. I found her. I sigh as I step out of my silver SUV and slam the door in frustration. Who? Zane looks at me with a tilted head. I do fathom sometimes if he is the best beta for me. He wasn't as quick on the ball as other betas. Kaia, she's with him. Of all packs, of all people. She just has to be there, doesn't she? The Dark Phantom. Yes, the Dark Phantom. I cut Zane off. I was tired and irritated with the events of the evening. I had aimed to enter his pack, hoping to speak with other alphas to gain access to their pack grounds to search for her. I never expected to talk to him, least alone, for her to be standing there all glamored up for him. Entering my office, and with Zane following me behind, I throw my body on my desk chair, my head falling forward into my hands. Was she worth a potential war? No, but for Allura she was. I can't lose Allura, and at the moment Kaia was my only option. With the positives of their similarities comes the problem of their similarities, and the fact that other alphas and lunas have met her at the banquet hall. If any meet Allura prematurely, they'll comment on their likeness, and that will open up a shit show for me with Allura. Allura will now have to remain confined within the pack grounds for longer than I planned, until I can get this done once and for all. Get Kaia back, now. My wolf growls at me, his anger channeling through as I feel his presence tingling within my veins. I need time to think. I groan back at him. His behavior wasn't helping. No. Get Kaia. He pushes forward, trying to shift and take control. He'll barge into the Dark Phantom pack and pull her out by the scruff of her neck. She was too well guarded now. Calm down, we still have time. I grip onto the desk as I fight him for control. I need to think. The best way to subdue my wolf is alcohol. It has proven to zone him out during his numerous aggressive attempts for control over me. By the time I reach my bedroom, I expect my beautiful Allura to be fast asleep, exhausted from a day of physio. But I have to check my phone for the time when I see the bedside light glowing from the open bedroom door. Walking in, I find her in the wardrobe of all places. I had all of her belongings moved into my room the moment she woke up. What are you doing? I ask aghast as clothes upon clothes litter the bedroom floor. She backsteps out of the wardrobe looking tired and pale. You're back. I am. What are you doing, my love? I step over the clothes, my hand reaching for hers to prevent her from tripping on a mess of her own creation. I was looking for something, a particular piece of clothing. What kind of clothing? A dress. It must have been thrown out during my absence. My chest still aches whenever she carefully rewords her time away from me as only an absence. As if she were off traveling the world, not laying half dead on a hospital bed. I missed you this evening. Where were you? A slight security threat, but things will be sorted soon. I'll help you look in the morning, but it's late, you should be asleep. I'm not even tired. She can hardly finish the end of her sentence before yawning. You were saying? I wasn't, but I am now. She chuckles, her hand moving away from her mouth. Then come to bed, my love.